Did you guys see that woman talking about her father getting kicked out of the nursing home? Well, apparently the nursing homes are kicking out their Medicare patients. And she was like, why would they do that? And everyone in the comments was like, honey, this is what you voted for. This is Medicare cuts. This is the big, beautiful bill. And she was like, no, that's not it. Yes, it is. I work in skilled nursing. 90% of the residents that are in there, they are Medicare patients. These buildings stay open because of Medicare. They will close down. They will not care for your aging parents and grandparents for free. They will send them home to you. You will have to quit your job and stay home and take care of them. That means you're going to have to be the caregiver for your father, your husband, your kids. You're going to have to quit your job. You're going to do all this on half the income for your household. This economy is going to suffer greatly when these places start closing down. This is one of the reasons, this is the main reason why I did not want to rely on the U.S. for my income while I'm living abroad. The economy here is bound to crash. When you cut Medicare like that and these places close, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. The dollar is going to suffer. There is no forethought with these people. They have no idea what is happening.
Life in America feels worse for millions of people in 2025 for several different reasons. First of all, daily life just feels exhausting. People are working endlessly to make ends meet, and they're not even making ends meet. Households have to have 2 incomes to be able to pay the bills. And it's not enough if you're just even making $20 an hour anymore. People that are making 6 figures are saying that they're having a hard time. Now, where you live does have a lot to do with that. If you are in the city, if you are more rural in the country, are you in a very expensive state? Are you in a cheaper state? We live in a cheaper state because of this reason. We decided to leave Texas in an area that did have a pretty affordable cost of living, but we decided to move to Oklahoma because it's even cheaper to live here because of this reason. And you have to make changes like that right now. People are needing to vote with their feet. Originally, I'm from California, and we left there years ago because of what is happening with the cost of living, amongst a lot of other things that's going on there in the state. Even though it is an absolutely beautiful state, there's just so many issues there. And burnout is real right now. People are just burned out from having to work 9 to 5, even beyond 9 to 5. People are having to work side hustles because, again, you're trying to make ends meet. You're trying to save extra money on the side. And at the end of the day, when it's still feeling like it's not enough, you start to feel a little bit hopeless. Also, the dollar doesn't even go far anymore. The dollar is being debased, and it is very, very frustrating because even if you are making a decent income, even if you are saving money, you can't qualify for the down payment for a home. Or maybe you're trying to buy some land and you're seeing that land prices are becoming astronomical ever since basically 2020. You go to the grocery store and you fill up a grocery cart and you're probably thinking, I need to put some stuff back because why is it costing over $100 for some basic items? Everything is just going up so much, and things before that weren't considered luxuries are luxuries now, like going on a vacation. A lot of times now you need to think about maybe just staying more local, because how do you really afford hotel or Airbnb, gas costs, food costs when you go to these other places? And let's just even hope that you get some time off of work. And of course, rent is pretty much unaffordable in most places. A lot of people are paying an average of $2,000 a month just for rent. That should be a big mortgage. That's what that should be. But it's just rent nowadays. And then you have to make so much money to be able to even qualify for rent. To own a home, that's out of reach for a lot of people. If you didn't lock in a great interest rate some years ago and buy a house at a more normal price, you're kind of priced out right now. And doesn't mean you're priced out everywhere. So again, this is why we moved to Oklahoma, because there is still opportunity here. And there's a lot of states where there's opportunity. But if you're wanting to live in big cities, if you're wanting to live in some more of the popular states to be in, good luck finding a house. And again, you can find fixer-uppers, and there's always, a place in every state, or several places in every state, where you can afford a home. But it's just getting so hard to do that nowadays. It's getting harder and harder. And then even dollar stores are going up in price. So the dollar store literally is not $1 anymore. It, changed to $1.25, and then now it's $1.50, and then it's going to be going up. They have sections of the store that it's like $5 and up. So people that would use a dollar store as a refuge before it's not even, you know, in the same price point as it used to be. So everything is just continuously going up. And then of course, there's a mental health crisis going on because stress, anxiety, depression, it's becoming the norm for a lot of people. A lot of people are on prescription medication because of it. And also social media is a huge problem because social media shows a fake version of success that people are looking at, they are admiring, and it's making them feel horrible about their day-to-day life. And that's nothing new. It's been going on since social media came out. But because people continue to show this fake version of life and real life is only getting harder and harder, it's driving more people to become more anxious. It's also making people get into more debt because they're thinking, you know, well, I want to have these things. How come I can't have, you know, this and this in my life like these people online? I mean, you know, the people online are showing a fake version of the daily life that they're living 90% of the time. So you can't believe what you see online, but it is hurting people and it's causing them to get depressed and have mental health breakdowns. There's record levels right now of substance abuse, and then Americans are isolated and disillusioned even in crowded places. You see that especially among the younger generations, and it's just because people can't cope. They're having a hard time. They're traumatized from the past several years. They're having a hard time coping with today, and it's just rough everywhere you look. And then places where people live are just falling apart. You see things falling apart all around you. You see the rise in homelessness. You see cities becoming dirtier.
So recently, Trump said the country was dead 6 months ago. It was just opposite, and now he's destroying it. That far-for moment is almost here for most MAGA, especially when they lose their insurance and their parents get duped off at their doorstep because nursing homes are closed. And this is actually happening right now in America because we've seen most of the rural Americans have actually lose most of their medical cover. And we have seen many of the Americans come to actually air out their grievances. And people were trying to compare the jobs creation during Biden's administration and the current administration. And we can all see that all the things are adding up. You know, there's a person said that America will be Trump's 7th bankruptcy. So we all see that many of the Trump's businesses have actually been declared bankrupt. Some of its actual airplanes were being repossessed by banks in the runways. Most of his real estates were actually repossessed back by many of the banks, and America is going to be again repossessed by banks. There was an article where the person actually highlighted that Doge didn't actually save. Doge didn't save Americans' money, but Doge really created a big mess for most Americans. So the article read, Musk Doge wasted 21.7 billion paying 300k plus federal workers to do nothing. So the Senate report. So Elon Musk was supposed to save American taxpayers from the government bloat. Instead, according to a Senate report, his Doge initiative wasted 21.7 billion in federal funds, nearly 2.5 times what it managed to cut. So you are cutting by overspending, but you overspend more than what you have actually, tried to save. Then it's the Department of Government Efficiency was launched under President Donald Trump with the Musk task to slash 2 trillion invested by July 2026. The effort quickly unraveled. Musk exited his role in May after falling out with Trump. Meanwhile, Congress passed law to increase federal spending further, deepening the deficit. The most costly blunder was the deferred resignation program, which paid 200,000 federal employees not to work for up to 6 months, costing 14.8 billion, intended to boost morale. It instead drained funds. So these employees were sent home. But you can't send home without a package. So the amount of package that were actually sent to these federal employees that were forced to take short leave of up to 6 months, this amount were more than actually what they were supposed to be paid while working. Another 6.1 billion was lost to extended administration leave for over 100,000 employees, workers who were effectively fired but kept on payroll. Additionally, 263 million disappeared due to frozen Department of Energy loans, and 155 million was spent making employees send weekly email listing 5 accomplishment, with the refusal treated as resignation. Listen to this. And 155 million was spent making employees send weekly emails. No, justifying why, telling the Doge department why you should still be employed. Doge also wasted 110 million on damned aid, 42 million relocating workers to offices, 32 million on misaligned projects at NIH and IRS, and 66 million on underused consultants. Doge's own operation cost 50 million. Instead of cutting waste, the initiative disrupted function system and demoralized workers. Democrats are now calling for audit across 27 agencies and hinting at possible criminal investigation. In the end, taxpayers are left covering 21.7 billion in losses. 21.7 billion total waste. A Senate report estimates Doge cost 27.1 billion in tax waste between January and mid-July. 14.8 billion for 200k employees paid not to work. Deferred resignation programs paid 200,000 federal workers to stay at home for up to 8 months. So you see, it was not really, it had good intention, but the execution was bad. And the way Trump is actually acting now is the same way Doge was working. A person say, as the economy worsens and more information about Trump's deepened connection to Epstein are revealed, the president decided to address the nation about woke business and Sydney Sweeney. So we know the controversial American Eagles denim advertisement. Now, Donald Trump posted, Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, has the hottest ad out here. Probably ad had the hottest because he likes women, younger women. It's for American Eagle and the jeans are flying off the shelves. Go get them, Sydney. On the other side of the ledger, Jaguar did a stupid and seriously woke advertisement. That is a disaster. The CEO just resigned. The company is in turmoil. Shouldn't they have learned a lesson from Bud Light, which went woke and essentially destroyed in a short but very woke campaign the company? The market cap destruction has been unprecedented. Billions of billions lost. Or just look at woke singer Taylor Swift. Ever since I alerted the world as what she was saying on Truth that I can't stand her. Basically, Donald Trump can't stand anybody who opposes his unrealistic ideas, his unrealistic agendas. You saw where they were forcibly trying to create more Republican seats. And Democrats stood out very well, defended their positions, defended what the Constitution of right wants, defended what the American voters wanted them to do. So this man, he posted like this. So I'm wondering. Then there's this young Republican voter who actually, he wrote a very good paragraph. Please stay with me and listen to the end. You'll learn something. So I deeply regret my vote for Trump. Voting for Trump in 2024 was the greatest mistake of my entire life. I'm 19 years old and this was my first presidential election. I don't stand by or condone what the administration has done and never was my hardline far-right conservative. Sure as hell I'm not now. I walked into the polls in November without honestly knowing which candidate I will choose, since I was very on the fence about both sides, pro-2A, pro-life, but also pro-environment and pro-Ukraine. Now I wish that I hadn't voted at all, much less Trump. Don't try and rationalize my decision in your head because it wasn't rational. I did not properly weigh the potential pros and cons of the candidates. There aren't any dots to connect. I flat out made the incorrect decision. What was the incorrect decision? Voting for Conman the 47th. I feel evil. I feel like horrible, selfish, foolish person, and there's nothing that can really be done to remedy my mistake. I've already decided to vote a full blue ticket in 2026, but doesn't fix what damage has already been done in this country, in our democracy. We give a small amount of political power to people who believe deserve through that ballot. I need to take accountability for that ballot because even though my state was a safe red one this season, I'm ultimately a part of it, of suffering. Alienating our closet allies is stupid. Cutting PBS and the NWS is stupid. The tariffs are stupid. The blatant disregard for the Constitution is stupid. The blatant disregard for the Constitution is stupid. Detaining and deporting people without due process is stupid. Supporting Israel is stupid. Not siding with Ukraine and trying to exit NATO is stupid. That's a lot of point. Cutting education funding is stupid. All the warning signs were spelled out in the Project 2025, plus Trump personal life, plus Jan 6 and my DMBS disregarded it. Instead, wanting change from the previous administration, I knew the damn well that I hate it. What pushed me to the red side of the fence was that Harris was the status quo candidate and ultimately I wanted a change. But boy, we sure as hell did get a lot of change. The populist line of thinking is dangerous has proven to be in the past. I've been beating this shit out of myself about it ever since that day, and it's been difficult to genuinely enjoy most aspects of life with looking at the headlines along with the tens of millions of other Americans made massive mistake in November, and so many innocent people are paying a price far greater. Personally, feel responsible for very idiotic decision as well as the future decision our president, Congress, and Scott has sent out, stroke approve like a twisted knife. The mental and emotion wounds will remain even after this blows over. So it's a long paragraph. Reach out to me, I'll send to you. It's a long paragraph. My number is in the bio. My WhatsApp number. I'll actually send you the full article to read, and you'll just be amazed how the Americans, many of the Republicans voters, have actually woken up.
We're on cameras up here. No, I just want to make sure I just yeah, what's up? So I'm Michael Weitzel. I'm being asked to leave by the police because of Donald Trump.
Hey, I'm a Donald Trumper, dude.
You're a Trump fan?
I'm a MAGA. Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
So I just want
all these coppers you got to deal with are MAGA, but they're not political here. They don't want any kind of
So
political.
those flags over there,
those are pre-approved.
those flags over there, those aren't great. So my question to you guys is, are these rules equally enforced on everybody?
And here's my question to you.
And the
You
only
go
way I
out
can do
there,
that
you go out
is if I enforce it with you.
Or you just go out.
Go out and handcuff. So I'm being threatened with arrest. What law am I breaking? What am I?
If we ask you to leave and you
You're asking me to
stay,
leave. This is
You're asking me to leave.
honor for you.
Am I being evicted from the premises?
You're
I'm
gonna be
being evicted
handcuffed
from
in
the
a minute. You
premises.
wanna make a big?
Okay. We're gonna walk up. I'm being evicted from the premises because of Donald Trump, because we can't wear Donald Trump hats in public, and so now I'm being evicted from the premises. We need a big procession to get me out of here. Trump is not welcome in St. Louis City SC Club. Trump is not welcome here.
I'm giving MAGA guys.
We're the ones. We're usually
I'm
better
trying.
than that.
I know. We're the ones who don't
know,
complain about everything and cry about
Exactly,
it.
I know.
But if we're gonna do
the
this,
policy of the department, we don't want. Oh, you just take the hat off and go back in.
if I take the hat off, I can go back in.
Yeah.
We're already past that.
We're past that.
You already gave
Oh.
that chance to you.
No, that's fine.
Just for this game.
Just for this game. Okay.
You can tell me all you want because I'm hearing nobody more pro.
You're trying.
So-
He gets it. He's just following the rules. It's not his fault.
Okay, well,
But this
I
is the
don't-
stadium's rules here.
Good, man.
Thank you, sir. Hey. So that's what happens if you wear a Donald Trump hat to a St. Louis City Soccer Club game. Thanks for watching.
People don't feel safe, having MAGA merchants around them, because these people are people who are mentally delusional. These are people who don't think. If you think so, there's this guy who actually said he ate that all the people are posting that I regret my vote, voting for Trump, this and that, but he's just tired. But at the same time, when you read from that thing, her mom is suffering. He said, if you think, I think if you zoom into the narrow point that these people regret voting for Trump, post are BS. I agree. It's Novocaine for people desperate for some kind of copium, and it's BS fabricated for the clicks. I don't know a single Trump voter that regrets their vote, and I know a lot of Trump voters. Then listen to this. My own mom's single income is at risk with funding freezes, and she doesn't regret her vote. Listen to this. She doesn't regret her vote. Did you actually, go into what your mom is thinking? Because it proved that, MAGA people don't have feelings for their family. They don't have feelings, a sense of feeling for where the country is heading. Then this is a response. So Trump voters really are just stupid then. Perfect. Then he came with a reply. I'll hesitate to call them truly stupid, though I'm sure many are, including himself. I think it's more likely some kind of brainwashing or mass delusion. Somebody somewhere said MAGA is a cult, and people are actually refuting the claim. The same kind of mental impulse that causes populist furor in all the unhealthy ways it has risen through the history. People get together, fall for a bunch of nonsense, blame a group of people, and get all their emotion to the point of voting for their own harm. MAGA. If it's stupidity, then I think energetics get a lot more reasonable. You can't fix stupid, and that will mean there's a lot of stupid. I prefer to think it's part of the human condition, and we can help fix it with education. That's why be wasteful thinking. When the Donald Trump was cutting fundings to actually education sector, when Donald Trump was dismantling the Department of Education, people were saying that Donald Trump likes the uneducated Republicans or the uneducated fools. So this person say they can fix it through education. About the same point of actually, people are refusing to let people with MAGA merchants in their premise. Somebody said, of course, you will say that many places are banning MAGA gear. You also have to publicly denounce Trump to gain entrance to function. If MAGA fight back, they go to jail and won't be released until after midterms. Dems' new strategy to gain black support: pay them. Very right. The MAGA influencers were very actually, Donald Trump's influencers were very actually, shocked. This is Eric Dotai. Eric Doherty say, breaking, you have just learned Trump supporters are currently being blocked from voting to the Young Republican National Convention. They are outright barring members of the President Trump slate from voting in the national election. Total chaos. It's Trump GOP. Let them vote. They are tagged RT and let them know what you think. The current situation, we have the Trump slate, restore young Republicans who have multiple delegates being blocked from voting. The only slate that seems to be having the issue, the Rhino slate, it's rigging it. So I think many of the Republicans are waking up. When Republicans speak, people think it's the Democrats that have actually, fixed themselves inside. The Democrats that have camouflaged inside the Republicans to actually turn things into chaos. But it's the Republicans, Republicans, these are people who believes in themselves, believes in the party, but most of them don't believe in Donald Trump. Listen to this. So we have all seen those videos that where MAGA have actually, grabbing people, even grabbing, deporting, harassing, shooting, pounding down on the ground many American citizens. And when the public reacts, it becomes a very big issue. I'll give you to watch this video here, and I'll give you the points.
Franklin R.C. heading to work Wednesday morning when multiple federal immigration officers pulled into his front yard.
Right when he got off the van, he put his hands up, and that's when they all came out, pointed the guns at him, and was speaking to him in a very violent way. And they just grabbed him by his shirt and pulled him down.
You can see R.C.'s longtime partner, Celeste Hernandez, run outside to make sure he's okay. An officer shoves Hernandez and points a gun at her. With R.C.'s 16-year-old son watching everything from their window.
He dragged him, pushed my stepmother, and she was unarmed. There's no point of using force if they didn't have anything to be threatened with. It was just scary, traumatizing.
The family says officers never showed proof of a warrant and refused to give their names and badge numbers.
It's not right with the way they treat us, our type of race. It's a shame because we're no different.
Many questions still going unanswered while R.C. sits in custody out of state.
They didn't even have a warrant. That's why they took me to the truck, because they didn't even have a warrant.
ICE, so this is along in X. ICE point gun at U.S. citizen for coming outside to ask why on her property. Agent pulls his gun, shoves her down multiple times, pushes her back into the house and slams the door. This is a woman. This is an American citizen. This is an American citizen who asking who are these guys? Because these guys come, the husband is just leaving, slams the husband down, no identification, you have the right to ask. But what's the end story here? All because she was asking for proof of a warrant, refused to be even given their names and badge numbers. I mean, it didn't make sense to us because he has an immigration court date coming up on December. This is the one speaking. Her longtime partner, Franklin S., owned a construction company in North Charleston, South Carolina. He was doing things the right way because he's a family man. His children are his priority. I lack words to actually say here because this is a hardworking citizen, a paying tax citizen whose husband, is somehow an immigrant who is on the process of working out, following all the due process to do what? To become legally staying there. But what happens? This guy is actually shoved into the car, taken to the, or even outside the state. I'll trust probably. Somebody say private business needs to stop serving MAGA morons 100%. If they are known for being MAGA supporting felony Trump or just wearing the match, don't serve them. Call it FAFO policy. You support the dictator who makes children starve, you don't get eat our food. FAFO. No name, no badge, no warrant, but toss him on the ground and point a gun at the wife mother. By the way, a bitter cop could go years without drawing the weapons out. Construction company owner, a family man, a home with his wife and kid. These are the worst of the worst. Who? And a person say, NRA accidentally forget to rise up against tyrannical government. If you think things are not getting worse, listen to this. The debate over food stamp have been abstract. This isn't about laziness, she said. It's about logistic. In Monticello, where bus routes don't run and broadband is spotty, the ability to work 30 hours a week is less about willingness and more about structural possibility. The New York Times noted that the revised SNAP rules explicitly exclude geographic hardship as a valid exemption. Whether you live near job centers or have access to children care doesn't matter. If you are 18 to 59 childless and not meeting the 30-hour mark, you are off the rolls. Tell me how someone is supposed to clock 30 hours in a place with 20-hour jobs. Johnson said, tell me how that's motivation and not just math. She continued, she sees a customer who have worked the same part-time shift at the same dinner for years, long before they ever needed assistance. Now, those same people are being told they are not trying hard enough. SNAP isn't a test of willpower, she said, it's a reflection of reality. According to The Guardian, many affected individuals fall into a gap where they earn too little to thrive, not enough to comply with the new rule. They are not jobless, they are unemployed, said a regional food bank director. That's who this policy targets. For Johnson, most frustrating part is mismatch between the policy design and on the ground realities. We are not against people working, she said. We are against pretending there's a job here that doesn't exist. She recalled one regular customer, a man in his late 50s who had worked janitorial shift for years. After the rule change, he lost his benefits because his hours fluctuated. Some weeks 32, some 18. He didn't choose that, Johnson said. The job did, and now he's choosing between gas and groceries. The conversation, she believes, needs to shift. It's not about deserving. She said it's about surviving. So, ladies and gentlemen, all this is what Americans are facing. And it's time to you guys, arise. The 2020, the GOP, the town halls are there. Go speak out. Go let your voice be heard. 2026, there is what? Midterms. Make these people actually, be shocked. Leave these people in disbelief because they are running things, they are making things as if you guys don't care. I know you hate me for speaking this, but you guys need to do something. Thank you for watching and let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. Thank you.